Okay, so it's been a couple of weeks, and as you recall, the last time we talked, we moved the beer basically from primary fermentation, siphoned it off into a carboy for secondary fermentation, and I said we were going to wait about 2 weeks. So it's 2 weeks, and this is bottling day. We're going to break this into a couple of different segments here. The first time I want to talk about is sanitation and priming. I haven't talked about sanitation yet, but as you can think, or as you can probably imagine, that's important. It's an important step that you do continually through the entire brewing process. Now, before up to this point, I was using a single-step cleaner sanitizer. I didn't really like that, so I ordered a two-step system, as you can see here. So the first stage of this is cleaning. Now, this is a cleaner. It's called PBW, or professional. I think it's professional brewer's wash. So it's food grade. It's for the it's not really for the pharmaceutical industry, but it's for the food industry, and it is a heavy-duty cleaner. This is the first time I've used this, so I've read a lot about it. Part of the issue is with it, it's so heavy-duty that you have to really wash and rinse several times to get it off. But different concentrations for depending on what you're doing. It's very good for taking off soil and everything like that. So soaked everything in this solution for about 20 to 30 minutes. Loosened everything off, drained it off, and then after that, after a good rinsing, we go to the second stage, which is sanitation. This is Star San. This is an oxidized sanitizer that I've used the entire time I've been brewing. It's very good, it's very convenient, it's no rinse, and you can use it with cold water. So after you're done cleaning, you make another solution. All you have to do with this is it just has to touch the surface for a minute and it's sanitized. So we've done that. Now we're going to talk about priming. Before you bottle, you have to prime. As you can recall, all of the sugar that we had in the wort was eaten up and consumed by the yeast, and that created alcohol. Now, to carbonate the beer, if we're going to do a bottle carbonation, we need to create another environment for the yeast to eat again. But this time we're going to cap the bottles, so all the carbon dioxide is going to stay in and create the bubbles and the carbonation that everybody knows from good beer. So usually how we do this is about 5 ounces of priming sugar. You get it in your kit. Some table sugar really doesn't work. So you want to get it from a good supply store for that. It's made into a solution. In this case, it was 2 cups of water for 5 ounces. You melt it, and then it's over here, and it's already cooled. You want it to get below 80 degrees, and it's well below 80 degrees at this point, so it doesn't kill the yeast, as you recall when we pitched it in the first stage. So I'm going to siphon it into this bottling bucket, as you can see here, and then as I siphon it in there, I'm going to mix in the priming sugar really well. And the last step for this chocolate stout is to add some Belgian cocoa powder. This came with a kit, so we'll put that in there in the last stage, and that's going to add the chocolate influence or finish that goes with this kit itself. So when we come back, I'll have this transferred to the bottling bucket. We'll have it all primed, and then we'll be ready to bottle. Okay, slow process, siphoning. If you want, obviously, since you're working on gravity, you can always lift the carboy up. Eventually, I'll get to that problem, or to that point. It might be hard for you to see too, so if we tip this up very carefully, you can see also down at the bottom where there's more sediment, where more of the yeast trub is actually settled during the secondary process. So again, you can always bottle straight after primary, but with going to secondary and letting it set for a little longer, you're going to get a clearer beer. But by all means, it's whatever you want to do with it. So once this is done, I'm going to attach what's called a bottling wand, and we'll talk a little bit about that to the siphon. Something's a little bit different in this setup. I didn't notice. The previous setup I had, the end of the bottling wand had a small attachment where you could actually attach it to the spigot. That's not here. I'm not able to do that. So for the first time, I'm going to be using a different setup. I'm going to be siphoning from the bucket with the wand on the end of the siphon and then bottling that way. So a few more minutes, and then we'll set everything up and we'll go to bottling. Okay, so it's not an exact science. We tried to use the siphon with the bottling wand, which this is basically what it is. It's a gravity type of a device with a stopper here. So working properly, you would place it down. This would be connected to either the spigot here or to the end of the wand or the end of the siphon. And then you put it at the bottom of the bottle, and as you depress this, you can see the mess which is made. The bottle will fill up, and then when you let it up, it stops the flow. So that didn't work too well. We made a bit of a mess, which I'll be cleaning up. However, we just have at this point gone to the spigot. Got two kinds of bottles, just so you know. You can buy, you can save bottles from your own beer drinking, obviously, and take the labels off as long as you clean them. Or you can buy them from a supply store in different sizes. This is two that I have. This is a 22-ounce bomber. So I bought basically two cases of these. It will not be enough for 5 gallons, so I've supplemented it with some half-liter bottles that are just German bottles that I've soaked the lids off of and cleaned and sanitized. But as you see, you want to bring it up to just about, these both need a little bit more in them. You want to bring it up to just about to the top there, maybe about an inch before the top before you cap. To do so, at that point you want to have a little bit more space for when you're actually bottling. So we might as well just go ahead, since this is going to be a long process here, and go straight to the next phase. Caveat, if you've got a big kitchen, if you've got a space to work in, it's great. If you don't, you gotta kind of work with it. So I'm just gonna put a little bit more in here, very carefully. Take it up to about there. And then we're gonna cap it. So you buy bottle caps, you can buy them from a supply store. These have been soaking in Star Sand solution just to give them a little bit of an extra pin there. So this is a regular standard two-handle capper. There's a magnet here on the bottom to where it kind of sets the cap for you, or you can just place it directly on here. So to do this, you want to place it directly on and over the collar, and then you're pressing down. Okay?
That didn't work, did it?
Yes, it did.
Oh, it did. Okay.
So here's the test. I'm going to do this over the sink. You want to give it a little bit of a tip. Also, one, you're checking the bottle to see the cap is on. And two, you're kind of mixing up the sugar. You're giving it one more little bit of a thing. You're kind of exciting the yeast that's also in there. So this one's ready to go. All right, so we're going to continue to do this until all the bottles are done. I've only got a few in here, but 5 gallons will yield probably 24 of these 22-ounce bombers, and then I've got 6 or so of these in reserve, because it looks like when it's all said and done after the whole process, the 5-gallon batch yielded about 4.5, almost 5 gallons. So once we've done this, once you bottle, once you cap, 3 weeks is a good rule to keep it. You want to keep it in a place that's about 72 to 74 degrees. Don't take it any higher than that. You're just trying to get the yeast excited again. 2 weeks is about what you need to build up enough carbonation, but if you want to give it an extra week to make it 3, that'll make it taste even better. Take it out when you're ready, put it in the fridge, let it sit in the fridge overnight, 24 hours really, and then open it up. So this can be about 3 weeks. We may just do one more of these where we open and check the process from there and see the finished product.